capitalism balloon inflates. Debt fuels inequality like helium fuels rise.
Welcome to Level 10. Corporations use debt like superpowers. You use debt like survival gear.
Debt makes people weaker. Corporations, it makes them richer.
Corporate CEO fires debt cannon like artillery. Eris ducks. Corporations borrow billions and become heroes. You borrow thousands and become stressed. Corporations don't fear debt. They weaponize it.
Interest rate shield blocking taxes. Companies borrow money and get tax discounts. You borrow money and get anxiety.
Interest is a business expense for companies, but a punishment for humans.
Their loan reduces taxes.
Leverage amplifies wealth, unless you are not wealthy. Then it amplifies panic.
When corporate tools meet personal wallets, chaos ensues.
Corporate bond printer glowing gold. Professor stamps bonds elegantly. Corporations don't borrow from banks. They sell debt to investors with style.
Bond buyers get income. Corporations get funding. Workers get credit scores.
Genus or villainy?
Yes. Borrowing money to inflate value, Wall Street calls it innovation.
Buyback graph rises, wages flatline. Wages don't rise. That's the hierarchy of capitalism.
A young Caucasian woman rides growing company. Debt lets companies scale faster. Humans scale anxiety faster.
CEO builds factory with borrowed money. Professor nods approvingly. Corporations borrow to build assets. People borrow to pay rent.
Your debt keeps your life running. Their debt builds empires.
Interest payments stacked as business expense. Corporations deduct interest from taxes like a coupon. You cry after paying.
Government applauds corporate debt use, Professor bows ironically. When corporations borrow, governments call it economic growth.
When people borrow, governments call it financial irresponsibility.
Corporate bankruptcy reset button. Corporations can die, reset, and respawn debt-free.
Normal people can't reset. Failure follows them like subscription service.
As you can see, for corporations, borrowing results in rewards and growth. Yet for the average person, it leads to significant penalties.
Your score haunts you. Corporate scores get upgraded after borrowing more.
Interest rate knob turned down for corporations. Professor celebrates.
Big companies borrow cheap. You borrow with fear and high fees.
Banker gives VIP interest discount to CEO. Eris watches in jealousy. Banks love lending to the rich. Risk melts in profit.
Debt is chess for corporations. Debt is checkers for everyone else.
They calculate debt like scientists. You guess debt like astrologer.
Debt increases valuation.
Debt
decreases vacation.
Yeah?
They're funding their employer with loans. This is absurd.
And here is your receipt. Enjoy the TV.
Merger financed entirely by borrowed capital. Professor seals contract. Mega companies use debt to become mega-er.
Startup uses venture debt to scale fast. Eris chases graph. Fast growth is funded by fast borrowing. Speed amplifies stakes.
Debt is celebration in corporate land. Party hats, not panic.
Debt benefits investors, not employees, not consumers, not you.
Companies borrow money to reward shareholders. You borrow money to survive.
Corporate legal team builds debt fortress. Eris knocks on impenetrable wall.
Debt doesn't just grow companies. It protects them from paying taxes.
Interest payments reduce taxable income. Debt becomes a corporate invisibility cloak.
The more they borrow, the less they pay. Debt is their discount code. You can't deduct your mortgage pain. Corporations can deduct their financial adventures.
Bankruptcy is a refreshed start for corporations. For people, it's economic trauma.
Bank forgives loan to big company. Banks forgive the rich to preserve profits. They punish the poor to preserve control.
Debt used to buy competitor. Eris watches smaller company vanish. Debt is corporate weaponry. Buy competitors today.
Hostile takeover funded by leverage. They borrow to acquire, then acquire to borrow more. Debt becomes growth engine.
Restructuring was a resounding success. To the future of Eris.
Cheers. The dividends reflect the hard choices made.
Debt demands offerings. Jobs are on the altar.
Debt used again to rebuild bigger company. Destruction financed by debt. Reconstruction financed by debt. Capitalism loves recycling.
Corporate credit rating upgraded after layoffs. Credit markets congratulate cost cutting. Society mourns it.
Government subsidizes corporate expansion. Eris receives a tiny consumer coupon. Corporations borrow billions. Consumers get warning labels.
Corporate losses turned into tax assets. Even failure can reduce taxes. Corporations profit from losing money strategically.
Company writes off bad investments. Eris sees refund. Losing money brings tax benefits. Losing savings brings depression. The largest creditor always wins. Sometimes they write the rules.
Debt restructuring avoids the corporate lawsuit. The negotiations replace legal consequences, unlike the consequences faced by citizens.
They pollute, then finance the cleanup using bonds, and profit again.
This is the debt finance green bond market. Saving the planet becomes profitable debt. Nature repays through coupons.
Destroy ecosystem, then borrow to fix it, then profit from fixing it. Beautiful irony.
We are profoundly grateful for this incredible, generous donation. It will enable us to advance tomorrow's leaders through innovative research.
Corporate charity lowers taxes and boosts PR.
Charity reduces tax burden more than suffering. Debt funds compassion theatrically.
Celebrity partnership paid by debt. Professor signs contract. Even marketing is leveraged. Fame financed like infrastructure.
Look at that precision. The stabilization algorithm is fully optimized. We did it.
R&D financed through bonds. The future arrives through borrowed capital. Hope accrues interest.
R&D success boosts stock valuation. Eris checks portfolio. Investors celebrate. Consumers pay premium.
Debt grows corporations' moat. Debt finances walls. Competition pays to climb them.
Debt-financed patents block competition. Eris sees legal wall. Debt protects intellectual property with expensive paperwork.
Corporate debt traded like product. Professor sells bond to banker. Debt itself becomes asset. People become collateral.
Borrow, grow, deduct, buy, restructure, repeat. The debt loop is capitalism's infinite engine.
Corporations get rich by borrowing. People get poor by borrowing. Same tool, different outcome.
It's a circular loop. Corporations borrow from the pensions, then pay the pensions using the debt.
A circle of financial dependency.
These returns are simply outstanding.
Bravo. Truly remarkable growth.
Your future depends on the debt that exploits your present.
Corporate debt increases stock value. Stock price rises because debt is cheaper than equity. Mathematics of manipulation.
Borrow more, get higher rating. Try that as a human and see prison options.
Debt makes the wealthy richer, even if company performance stagnates.
Wage growth remains flat under debt boom. Eris draws sad wage line. Debt rewards owners, stockholders, and lenders, not workers.
Dividend increase announcement. Borrowing to pay dividends is considered innovation, not insanity.
Eris checks contract fine print.
Performance isn't based on production. It's based on engineered valuation.
Innovation removes jobs while increasing stock returns. Efficient misery.
Shareholders cheer buyback success.
Professor bows sarcastically.
Make rich investors richer using borrowed money. Society calls it growth.
Complex debt structure confuses regulators. Complexity is the adult version of hiding candy wrappers. It fools authorities.
Debt is sold across offshore accounts. Tax havens protect money better than governments protect citizens.
Corporate profit travels to island. A young Caucasian male professor waves from a palm tree. Islands with no beaches still get rich from corporate vacations.
Interest paid abroad reduces taxable income. Debt becomes international tax escape. Geography protects wealth.
Government pretends to regulate. South Asian female professor signs hollow policy. Regulation arrives late and leaves early. Debt laws obey lobbyists.
Lobbyists rewrite tax legislation. Heiress sees money exchange. Policies serve lenders first, nations second, citizens never.
Shareholder, eventually it bursts, but slowly.
Heiress sees upside-down reality. Prices are upside down.
Debt-driven asset inflation benefits wealthy. Inflation hurts spenders and rewards owners. Weaponized inflation.
Property company borrows to hoard housing. Heiress locked out of bidding. Debt lets corporations buy homes, turning shelter into investment class.
Renters paying corporation mortgages. You rent from a corporation repaying debt using your rent. You pay their wealth.
Housing squeeze due to corporate acquisitions.
Inflated real estate becomes collateral. Professor taps loan contract. Value inflates value, enabling more debt. Infinite leverage, finite shelter.
Interest deduction lowers tax again. The debt loop feeds itself with tax savings, perpetual motion machine of capitalism.
Mortgage-backed corporate bonds sold to investors. Heiress sees renters funding investors. Rent supports investors who receive income from bonds backed by rent.
With this key, the next phase of our kingdom begins.
I'm ready to build upon your legacy, Professor.
They call it stability because rich people don't lose money. Everyone else just loses homes.
Debt inflates corporate wealth pyramid. A Caucasian female professor stands at top. Capital.
I've got you. Don't look down. Keep climbing. We're almost out of the red.
Debt made them rich. Nextize. Debt makes them untouchable.
Legal firewalls built around corporation. Heiress tries to break through. Debt shields corporations behind complex structures ordinary people cannot afford.
Corporate debt isn't personal. People carry the burden. CEOs carry bonuses. Bankruptcy court forgives debt. Corporate failure is forgiven. Human failure is punished.
Executives keep bonuses during restructuring. Professor sips champagne. Failure pays well when you control the system that defines failure.
This bailout is necessary, but remember, this is taxpayer money. The support system comes from the people.
Bailouts protect markets, not citizens. Stability, not justice.
Corporate debt crisis absorbed by government bonds. Heiress sees risk migrate.
Public debt rises after corporate bailout. Governments borrow to save corporations. Citizens pay through taxes and inflation.
Bondholders protected first during collapse. Heiress sees hierarchy chart. In bankruptcy, investors get paid. Workers get apologies.
Shareholders receive leftovers. They gamble, while creditors control. Remember, debt outranks ownership.
Corporate lobbying ensures debt-friendly policy. Policies favor creditors because creditors finance policymakers.
Debt doesn't just grow wealth, it hides it. Profitable failure is capitalism's dark comedy. Loss can be monetized.
And so the markets reward companies that eliminate debt using other people's losses. Bravo.
Debt swapped for equity during restructuring. Eris loses ownership. Creditors gain control. Ownership belongs to lenders, not founders.
Corporate empire rebuilt from ashes. East Asian female professor stands triumphantly. Debt wipes the slate clean and builds stronger empires on the ruins.
New company launches with same leaders. Failure doesn't end careers at the top. It renews them.
Debt restructuring allows the company to survive, but it simultaneously restructures your lives. These contracts reflect the necessary wage adjustments.
Reduced wages increase corporate profit. Debt and crisis transfer wealth upward. Workers subsidize recovery.
Government praises company comeback. Success is measured in market recovery, not worker dignity.
Debt cycle restarts with new leverage.
Shareholders receive dividends funded by new debt. Debt resets serve capital. Workers serve both.
Borrowing isn't backup, it's strategy. Debt is corporate DNA.
Financial institutions encourage more borrowing. Banks profit from lending to entities too big to fail, too legal to jail.
We did it! To the future!
Give me a break.
Corporations use debt to own infrastructure. Eris sees public assets privatized.
Citizens rent public services at corporate prices. You pay corporations for services on your taxes once funded. Debt monopolies form industry cartels. Ares trapped by market choices. You pay. You pay rent to their assets and interest to their investors.
Corporations don't get rich despite debt. They get rich because of it.
Learn how debt builds empires, or you'll unknowingly fund them. Like, share, subscribe.